I've always shied away from tier lists for Ultimate. I just feel like the set of things you can do with a character is so much bigger than the set of things I actually know. So in a lot of ways it feels meaningless to say that Brawler is exactly this good because he has—
Yeah, but how good is he though?
Because he has this exact set of tools.
Yeah, but like how good is he though?
Okay, so I think Brawler is high tier, and before you kill me, watch my video. Tiers and matchups are definitely complex, but when you play a character for a while, you do start to feel like you're learning how they perform against other ones. I say feel like you're learning because you never really know whether or not Tweak could pick up your main and prove that everyone who played them was just terrible. Still, here's what I think. Mii Brawler has the tools to do anything. He definitely struggles versus characters that put out a lot of strong, disjointed hitboxes very quickly, like Ness, Wolf, Bowser, that other spooky lizard, but he actually does surprisingly well against most of the top 15. Way better overall than any characters our community considers mid-tier. Peach, Pikachu, Lucina, Joker, Palutena, these are overwhelming characters that absolutely destroy all the bad ones, but they have to think surprisingly hard to deal with Mii Brawler. When I'm playing as Guy Fieri, thanks to my strong approach tools, out-of-shield options, ledge trap moves, whiff punishes, and anti-airs, it always feels like, if I have a read, I'm able to make it, which ideally I could say about everyone, but you know how it is. Of course, without a sword or strong projectile game, Brawler doesn't actually oppress any low tiers himself, and you have to seriously practice and worry about random characters like Kirby, Ganondorf, and Piranha Plant. And yes, losing a game to a sentient head of lettuce is emotionally scarring, but if you think about it, that's actually fine. Your matchup against Bowser Jr. or Dr. Mario isn't what's gonna make or break most tournament brackets. What's important is that Brawler doesn't get to winners round 3 and hit a brick wall made of tryhard Palutena mains. That simple fact is what let me become a tryhard Guy Fieri main. And I think on some level, many people actually acknowledge Brawler's weirdly consistent matchup spread. For example, you never really see top players calling him trash anymore. There's always a respect for his tools and potential. So why don't more people play this secret high tier? Well, you know, first off, he's a Mii. People like playing their iconic Nintendo characters. Everybody loves Mario Galaxy, but you don't really hear anyone talking about how their childhood was shaped by Wii Play. Of course, aside from me, because God, I love Wii Play fishing. Anyway, that difference in levels of attachment to Mii's versus other characters is a deep-rooted cause of Brawler's unpopularity that will never change, no matter how much I show someone the sales data for Wii Sports versus that one JRPG that made them cry in 5th grade. I've also noticed something else that hurts Brawler's perception. It's a kind of opposing force to the tiers don't exist mindset. Many people seem to believe that tiers are objective and just sort themselves out, but even the best tier lists will reflect more than just objective facts of gameplay. A strong and versatile character can be neglected for reasons completely separate from their actual tools. Just look at what happened to Mii Gunner when the Sans costume came out. Tons of players suddenly realized how fun and powerful the character could be simply because it was tied to a different character they already had an attachment to. And yes, I am basically saying that what Brawler needs isn't a balance patch, but actually more meme costumes. However, that's a hot take for another day. Instead, let's talk about the fact that we're currently in a global pandemic. And if you think Smash Ultimates Online is bad, just play Mii Brawler and you'll be converted to thinking it's Turbo Bad Plus. When you take a character that gets KOs by reacting at ledge, and then you subtract the ability to react at ledge. Well, I'm no mathematician, but what you're left with is kind of ass. Mii Brawler can work well online, but only in the kind of great connection you get playing people over Ethernet within a couple hundred miles of you. Non-region locked Wi-Fi tournaments are out of the question. There's a reason why nowadays I play a lot less Guy Fieri and a lot more Gun Fieri. Neutral Get Up Shield has 1 frame of vulnerability, and Mii Gunner has the tools to consistently hit it, even if you're fighting someone who has no LAN adapter and lives at a research base in Antarctica. There's no question that, in terms of results, Mii Brawler is seriously struggling right now, and I believe the pandemic is the biggest reason why. To be fair, we've seen players like Sharp do very well with Sheik, who has a similar problem, so it's probably not impossible online. It's just less not impossible, which hurts the character. And like Sheik, Brawler has both a high skill cap and a high skill floor. If you're not doing those optimal or close to optimal combos, or if you get careless and go for the funny jump kick move 3 times in a row instead of mixing up your offense, you're going to feel like Brawler can't do it because you're feeling your own lack of experience and mistakes. And again, you really can't say that for every character. If you're playing Little Mac and you keep getting cooked by Pikachu, well, try your best, but that's in Sakurai's hands now, not yours. You could have all the skills of Reggie himself and you still wouldn't win. Not so for Brawler. Your well-rounded set of tools means that, in a good connection, you're always losing because of something you did, and that, to me, is the mark of a high-tier character. In conclusion, Brawler is sick, and while he might not have the childhood nostalgia factor of Sonic or Banjo to boost his player base and results, he can compensate for that by being an actual well-designed character. He gets to play an aggressive, mix-up based rushdown game, and he actually has the speed to beat people who try to camp him, which makes the game fun. To anyone who doesn't play Brawler, I can't recommend enough that you find someone with a wired connection who lives relatively close to you and try the character out a bunch. For me, Brawler has been responsible for some of the most fun moments I've had during the pandemic, and I can't wait to prove this character's worth once it ends. If it ever ends. I kind of live in America, so subscribe!